Have you ever wondered how much it costs to buy a house in London? Well, I've got you covered. Before we get started, I'd love to welcome you guys into my new living room, which probably explains why it's so empty. And there's a whole lot of nothing outside of my trusty rolling chair. But yeah, let's get started. Usually when we think about buying a house, irrespective of where we are, whether that's Mauritius, America, UK, Zambia, we usually think about saving for the price of the house. If we cannot save that, save a deposit, get a loan, exchange money, exchange keys, and then you buy a house. But it's not that simple. Let's start off with in the UK, specifically in England. When you buy a house, you have to pay a massive tax on it called the stamp duty, which is like a percentage of the price of the house. So that's two things already that will be like a major part of what you're going to be spending your money on. But I don't think you've come into this video to wonder how much I spent as a deposit, how much I spent in terms of my stamp duty, because there's a lot of videos and there's a lot of stuff online already on this. I'm gonna give you the juicy rundown of how much it actually did cost, like all of the hidden fees, so that you don't have to go through what I had to go through. So let's get started. Number one is a non-negotiable. You need a solicitor. It's the person that basically does the searches to see if the flat actually belongs to the people you're buying it from, and things like that, draft up the contract, all of that shebang. I paid a whole total of £2,488.80. The conveyancer I used was a recommendation from one of the person I was working with when buying the house. Would I recommend doing that? No. Get a recommendation from one of your friends or family that has bought a house and has an experience as a buyer. If that isn't the case for you, comment down conveyancer in the comment section down below and I will ask around and hopefully give you a list. So yeah, so that's the first expense. The second expense was getting a mortgage advisor. Mortgage advisor is basically the person that brokers the loan for you, because I cannot afford to buy a house right in London. I don't know who can, but I'm not one of them. And I know there are mortgage advisors that are free, but I personally wanted someone that I was paying in general because they tend to be worth their weight in gold, go above and beyond, and mine went absolutely above and beyond, and I paid $495. That included indefinite mortgage advice, so whether I buy a house now, whether I'll buy a house in the future, whether I'm remortgaging the house. So yeah, I was really happy with the service. I used the company called Strive and I used a guy named Greg, loved him to bits, and I couldn't recommend him anymore. So if you message him and you told him you found him through me, that'd be great. I'd love it. Make me famous. Third expense that I spent my money on was getting the survey of the house done. So this is optional. I know a lot of people that don't do it, but if you're spending a bazillion amount of pounds on a house, I would want to get a structural engineer, surveyor, quantity surveyor, anyone, you know, who has the right qualification to check whether that house is actually like not falling apart. And in my case, this was even specifically better because I nearly bought a different flat to this one. But when we did the survey, found out that the roof was falling apart, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to take that big of a liability. So it allowed me to make an educated decision. For this house, I paid a total of £1,498.8. But if you want to count like total spending I've done on surveys, it would be double that amount. Now that we've got the big list stuff out of the way, let's go into the hidden fees that I wasn't quite aware from until I started looking and buying and eventually buying said house. Number one was the searches, which we discussed earlier, paid to the solicitor, and I paid a total of £211. Second hidden search that I wasn't aware of was the land registry fee. It's a fee to, I think, change the name of the owner of the house on HMO related stuff, and I paid a total of £295. Because the flat I bought is a share of freehold, which means that me and every single owner in this block of building communally own the building. There are some extra admin stuff that you have to do, and I had to pay an admin fee, the share of freehold related expense, which cost me £408. As I was buying this on a separate date where the service charge to the management company works, so just for context, service charge in general in share freehold flats are paid for the general maintenance of the flat. An example of this would be deweeding the back garden, painting the hallways, the shed hallways, things like that in general. And I had to pay an advanced ground rent and service charge of £486.82. So all of these hidden fees were paid to my conveyancer. Other stuff I had to pay for were more like moving admins that I didn't know were gonna come and bite me in the bum, were the Dexter's changeover fee. So basically I had to pay to get someone to take over my tenancy. That cost me a total of £50, followed by my moving fee. So I did vlog some of the experience of me moving, but it was an absolute mess because of my conveyancer. But in the grand scheme of things, I paid a total of, let's find out, paid a total of £241.56. In total, this is however much I paid to buy this flat and move myself in. There's been like a million other stuff that has been on the horizons, like setting up my bills, my first month of buying furniture and all of that stuff. And if that interests you guys, I'd love to make more videos about this as I'm going through it. So yeah, just let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and congratulations to me for buying a house. It's quite surreal, to be honest, to think that I own these four walls, and if they crumble apart, all my money's gone. So yeah, cool, great. See you guys later.